Alright, the other day I decided to play more Hornet, and it was on stream. I got a new haircut the other day as well, and I like to keep these intros short, so let's just get right into it. So I started off back in Green Path. I'm sorry that the audio in the last video was a little quiet. I'm working on my audio levels. And also, if you can see in the right of my face cam, we actually had a guest on stream. We had my cat, who decided to lay in my bed. And right now I'm just healing, making my way over. I'm trying to just get out of Green Path, because I want to continue playing. But I actually do end up not quite making it out this first time, just because of something that happens soon. But first I do happen upon the Hunter's area again. I discover it's the Hunter's area and I leave because I don't need to be there again. And then when I'm venturing back this way, I end up falling onto some spikes, lose one of my health, fall into the water, lose another health. And then I try to start heading away. I do make it, but there's nothing over here, so I just go back. Luckily I've gotten decent at kiting these mosquito darting creatures. And then I run into these furry bugs. They try to start a conflict, but then I just end up losing and dying. So now I've lost all my geo, I have to go retrieve my soul again. I'm back at the bench where I had started. And yeah, it's unfortunate that I died there, because I do just need to find my way out. My soul ended up being somewhere below for some reason, so I reclaim it, I get my geo back, and then I immediately fall into the spikes again, and then I'm on 1 health again, and I die to this bug shooting projectile. No, just by dashing into him stupidly. And wake up on the bench again. I go out. I do end up finding my stuff and retrieve it. And then I decide to call the stag and travel to Forgotten Crossroads. And I really do love this cutscene. It's kind of cool how they just made it, like, with all of the sounds and stuff. I like the running animation of the stag as well. So I came back to the Forgotten Crossroads because I'm gonna try and go back up to the town of Dirtmouth, because I think that in my research I had discovered that one of the people up there might be able to tell me where to go, so we go up, but first we actually encounter this new NPC, a warrior, who we haven't seen before, and yeah, he talks about some sort of arena, and he's trying to train us. I don't really know what he's talking about, for where to go, but yeah, then we talk to this guy, because I'm not sure quite which NPC the research was talking about, but it wasn't this one. He's just a warrior, and he doesn't really give us anything of use. And then he talks about the other guy, and I'm assuming that that's the guy that I need to go to in order to find out where to go next. I'm assuming he might drop some hints on where to go, but he's not really telling us anything that would be of use, so yeah. We do just see some conversation about what was before, alright, and I did realize there's a worm up here that I need to free. I thought I had to pogo off the bug, but then I remember I have the dash, so I just dash up there, save him, and kill the bug. And then I go through this area, and I am currently trying to make my way down to the Forgotten Crossroads, because it's apparently the way I should be going is back through the Forgotten Crossroads in order to get to another area. I do end up dying. I do end up not dying, but losing a few health there, but at least I can heal fully. Make my way across. I hate those spikes that fall from the ceiling, for sure, though. And yeah, I just keep continuing along, trying to make my way down further and further. So we do end up going this way. We avoid that orange bug because they're annoying. And then we go down. We run into some sort of dead end, but we do get some geo from it, so it's a good 100 geo, which will be useful for sure. And so we go back up out of this dead end, make our way up using a dash, and we follow this sign which tells us to go down. So we end up going down and we make it into the Fungal Wastes, which I think is a pretty cool area. I'm not too fond of the enemies here, because they are a little bit annoying. This guy kinda reminds me of a ghast, just because he's large and just floats there in the air. And he does shoot orange. Yeah, he does shoot orange projectiles at you. And then we actually make our way into this area, and we happen across some guy's camp. And it's kind of weird. He says he can smell us, which is not the best introduction. And we pay him to see something nice, which I don't know, but then it just happens to be his shop, which we come across these charms. We think that they're a scam, but I actually found out that they're pretty useful, so we don't really buy any right now. His prices could be a little cheaper, but they're not too much more expensive than any other charm seller, so it's not really a big deal. And I also found out that these ones break when you use them too much. So we make our way following the sign again, and we encounter these enemies, which are probably the most annoying ones down here. They have a roll attack and they have a jump attack, and I hate both because I always just end up getting bested by one of them. Like right there, I dashed over him, but then I don't know why I decided to go back and fight him again, because I did end up losing 3 more lives, almost dying. But yeah, we still make it out, and then we actually find out that we can, like, go far out to attack and then dash back to land on the same platform again. I do hate these guys because they send out exploding projectiles, but I found out that you can just redirect them and then they'll explode and then kill the host. So that's kind of good. Come across this gravestone. I don't know who it's of, but yeah. We come across this NPC. We did mistake her for an enemy at first, but we know her name now. Her name is Cloth, and she's just an adventurer like us, just with a more powerful weapon. And we continue following these signs because we need to keep going. I hate those bugs because they always explode, and then it's also after they die. But we did see Hornet. She made her way through this passage, so we need to follow her. But she leaps across this chasm, and we don't have the ability to do that yet. We look at the sign, and we do actually end up walking off the edge on accident here. And then we make our way down. We went to the left now of that corridor that Hornet had gone down, just because we can't go the other way. And we fight these guys. They kind of don't do much. They're not really that threatening of an enemy. We got some more geo, which is going to be nice. later. It's also quite dangerous to carry around this much geo, but we keep making our way down, and we run into Cornifer, map NPC, and we're able to buy a map of this area for 75 geo, which isn't too bad with what we have right now. So we just buy the map, and we can keep on going. We eventually happen across a place called Queen Station, which is the stag station for Fungal Wastes area. And right now, we are talking to this guy, and then we try to go up to this wall, we realize it's blocked off. So then we happen across the actual stag station part of the area. But right now, we don't actually open the gate, which is probably a bad idea. We should have opened that gate, because that would have given us access to travel back from here anytime we wanted, but we didn't do it, so we have to go back out the old way, which is fine. And then we actually see that there's another stag station, and this one is of an NPC called Willow, and she's just eating the fungus from Fungal Wastes area and snacking on it, and just talks to us about that, pretty much. And she just wants to stay there. She's just content staying there her whole life. And then we happen into a place called Fog Canyon. We make our way past and run into a room, and this room happens to be the place of the shopkeeper, the banker, of the banker, the area of the bank where we can store our geo if we need to. Right now, we don't really need to, because even though we have a lot, I feel confident that we won't die, though it's probably a bad idea that I feel confident. So, with nothing else to do in here, we just make our way back out, because we didn't want to open an account quite yet. I don't know why I keep attacking, I just like destroying the foliage of the areas. And over here we start killing these jellyfish type creatures, but then we kill the big one with the vengeful spirit, and its insides swim towards us and explode, dealing quite a bit of damage. So we try to avoid killing these giant jellyfish in the future, because I don't want that to happen. We actually end up hearing the map NPC probably somewhere below us here, which is quite weird. I don't know quite where he is, but we also come across this dark border that we can't pass through. We try to spellcast on it to get through it, but the vengeful spirit has no effect. And then we make our way up through this area again, and we happen across this arena with these giant toadstools, which are actually mini-bosses called Shrumal ogres, and we start fighting them. He does a headbang attack. It's quite easy to just bait out the ranged attacks and then go back in after they do their melee, though I do end up taking a little bit of damage at points to them. Yeah, one right there. I think I get hit again right, like right here, I think. It's in a minute, but yeah. In a minute here we actually end up finishing off the first one, yeah, and then we take out the second one, and we're fine. We realize something fell, we inspect it, and it turns out to be a charm notch, which means we can equip another charm, because right now our charm slots are full, but since we picked up that charm notch, we have another one. We make our way up through this area that we hadn't gone up before, because we thought we would die, and we go this way, and we see that there is some sort of weird passage. We see that there's a worm at the end, so we decide to go and free him. And that will be useful later, that we freed a few more worms by now. We avoid that orange bug again, just because we don't want to really fight. And we happen across these healing springs and Forgotten Crossroads, so we're back here, because there's nothing left to do in Fungal Wastes. And we sit on the bench, our map gets updated. We kind of just look at our map, and then we realize that we have that. After a minute, we realize that we have that second charm notch, and we want to go back to the bench, sit down, and put on our Gathering Swarm again. That's just so that we can pick up Geo more easily for the time being, since we're not really using the charm slot for anything else right now. And then we go to Sly's shop, and we find the Stalwart Shell, which is a gem that just kind of increases our resilience after taking damage, so we just make sure we have that, because that could be useful in the future. And then we make our way across into the worm nest room, where we can see this guy, and he's very happy that we've freed his children, so he actually gives us some Geo, and then casts out a piece of a broken mask, and I'm assuming this is going to be useful. I do remember that I saw mask shards in Sly's shop, so I go back to Sly's shop, and since I have a lot of Geo right now, I do end up purchasing 2 more mask shards, because I want to see what this mask is, and I do assume that that final fragment below it is another piece, but it is very expensive. I'll have to see what that is later, when I have enough Geo still. And he doesn't want to let it go for a cheap price, so we have to wait. So we continue on, and we make our way back down through Forgotten Crossroads, back down, and we find this area, which is, and we recognize this sign from before, and we find a metal gazebo type structure, which we can't really get into yet, so we just leave it be. And then we happen across this shop, which we can only access due to our dash, and we meet Salubra, who's a charm collector, and we buy a shaman stone, and we buy a shaman stone to increase the strength of our spells, and we buy another charm notch so that we can equip another charm. Since we now have 5 charms, she's willing to sell us that. And then we leave, and we do go back to Queen Station. We purchase the access to the Stag Beetle, and we ring the bell, call him over, and then we rest on the bench so that we're in a good spot. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video. Just a reminder, this is streamed live from my Twitch, so make sure to go check that out. And on my second channel, I'm uploading the stream VOD, so if you want to see the full gameplay, you can go over there and check that out. But yeah, that's it. So if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video, and peace out.